What's up everyone, how's it going? So today we're going to be taking a look at the new Dissidia game called Dissidia Duellum Final Fantasy. I'm looking right at the title for the announcement trailer. There's a lot to go on and I will discuss it in this video, but I want to first react to this trailer real quick because I haven't actually watched it. I've only seen some screenshots and a little bit of some people's thoughts online, but I want to see for myself before I have any conclusion. So let's get into that first. I like the art style of it. This looks pretty cool art style wise, and obviously there's some pretty interesting stuff coming out of here. And it's just interesting that they decided to go with a mobile game again for Dissidia. I know we had Opera Omnia that was out like 3-4 years ago. They canceled it. I mean, it definitely looks like a Dissidia game in some aspects, like NT. I think it's interesting that we got Gaia in here, first for the Final Fantasy 14 representatives. And I do like how a lot of the Final Fantasy characters have more modern clothes. Aside from Prompto. Prompto, it just kind of fits. Okay. That's Clive in the middle. That's definitely Clive in the middle. Cool. Alright. Okay, so I open up a few tabs because there's a few things I do want to talk about firsthand before we get into deeper things of it. Like I was saying during the trailer, I like the art style. It definitely looks like Dissidia in terms of gameplay. I will say the art style kind of reminds me of Genshin Impact. I don't know if they're trying to do the whole Genshin thing, but if they are, I feel like it's more recommended for them to try to put this on other platforms instead of the mobile platforms. Like, I don't want to just play this on my phone. Maybe I'll play this more often if they had it on like consoles or even PC. If they had it on either one of those, I probably will play this more often. I mean, I'm still gonna give this a try because that's just how I am. I love Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts as well, and I'm bringing up Kingdom Hearts for a reason. And don't think that I am over here like everyone else getting salty about the whole idea of like, oh, don't bring up Missing Link. I will bring up some details, but it's not what you think it is. Anyways, so I like the art style here. I like what they're going for. I wish it was on other platforms. The one things I will do say is it's interesting that they've chosen this roster of characters. First off, Kain, I can see that. Terra, I can see that. The Warrior of Light makes sense. Lightning makes sense. Rinoa instead of Squall, cool. And Rinoa is always doing her. You see her doing that all the time in every single thing. Gaia was a huge one for me because I was like, yo, wait, why is Gaia here as the Final Fantasy 14 representative? It's very interesting that they chose Gaia. Now, I do think, because it did say that more characters are going to be coming later, I think it's probably still going to be part of the whole gacha system, maybe. Hopefully not. I really hope they don't try to do the whole gacha system with other characters. I would think they would just probably release them and they'll be like, oh, here's these other characters from other mainline Final Fantasies, or maybe even the side games, you know. Some of the other Dissidia games had other side games, like they had Ace from Type 0, or even some characters from, you know, Final Fantasy Tactics, some characters from, come to think of it, it'd be pretty cool if they actually add in to World of Final Fantasy characters, I think. And I know some people are probably gonna not agree with this, but it kind of fits with the current story arc right now. maybe even some Final Fantasy or some Kingdom Hearts characters. I don't know why I said Final Fantasy. It's always gonna add Final Fantasy characters, but it'll be interesting to see some Kingdom Hearts characters be added into this franchise. It'll be probably not the first, because I remember there being some Kingdom Hearts crossovers in some Final Fantasy games. Matter of fact, let me look that up real quick. Okay, so I did find 3 of them. There was a post that I saw just recently. So Sora was in World of Final Fantasy. I definitely do remember that, and I do have Sora in World of Final Fantasy. This one was in Record Keeper, which I didn't even know this. This is actually pretty cool. So Kingdom Hearts characters were in Record Keeper. You know, just saying. And then there was also Brave Exvius, which I do definitely remember this one because I actually started playing Brave Exvius because they added Kingdom Hearts characters to it. And I remember seeing like all the crazy FMVs of all the different characters and how they were portraying them and all that. So Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy hasn't had like no collaboration that's never happened before. So they always had collaboration in some kind of way, where Kingdom Hearts has made its way into Final Fantasy, and obviously Final Fantasy has made its way into Kingdom Hearts. But the only reason why I bring that up is because with the current art style and the idea of going with modern day Tokyo, which I think is taking place in modern day Tokyo, that's pretty much where Kingdom Hearts 4 is taking place in. So I was like, oh, that'd be pretty cool if they have some, some Kingdom Hearts characters make it into this. But that's what I just wanted to bring up in terms of like, characters that potentially make it into the game, because that's what Dissidia was always mostly known for. Dissidia has always brought characters from both Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts in it at all times. I think there was even some Nier characters at one point, but I don't think there's ever been a Dissidia game. I don't think Dissidia has ever had any other character besides Final Fantasy and its spin-offs. Alright, so let's go a little bit deeper into this. What is this about? It says this is a 3v3 team boss battle arena, which is interesting because that is kind of like how NT was. And I think they're wanting to continue the NT approach, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But to put it in a mobile sense is interesting. Defeat the giant boss before the enemy team. Wait, what? Defeat the giant boss before the enemy team. Can I look in more detail about that, or is that it? Hunt monsters near a crystal to purify it and gain lots of bravery. Okay. Bravery burst. Unleash your power at maximum bravery to deal a damage against the boss. Use powerful abilities to defeat the boss faster than the enemy team. So interesting. Abilities. Acquire abilities to get upper hand in the battle. So they have different ones. Ultimate shield. Okay. Oh, and see, it has like different art styles from what I see here. 4 roles. There are 4 roles: range, melee, agile, and support. Huh. Range, melee, agile, support. Now this is different. I don't think Dissidia ever had anything like this in terms of what I know, because I've only played Dissidia, the original Dissidia, Duodecim, and NT. I've never played any of the mobile ones because I didn't really care too much about it. Like Opera Omnium, I was like, that's a mobile game. I'm not gonna care too much about it. This one looks a little different from Opera Omnium, so I was like, you know what, maybe I can check this one out. I mean, obviously, I still have my feelings, how it's like, it's mobile. Wait, you can do some customization of outfits. Well, that one makes sense with the modern and also the, their classic styles. You do memories. I'm just gonna be speed running through most of the stuff. BGM, okay, so music that you can go through. Okay, I kind of like that. I like that. All right, so I want to check out the story. What is the story on this? Because there's obviously gonna be having some type of story that they have that ties in everything with Final Fantasy, just in general. A new Dissidia story unfolds in Tokyo, modern day. A giant crystal appears in the city of Tokyo. The blue glowing crystal blended into daily life and become a familiar presence. However, those peaceful times came to a sudden end. Strange monsters appear from a mysterious, menacing energy polluting the crystal. driving humanity to despair. A terror dominates the city, and armed warriors emerge as they were answering to the city for help. As they conceal their identities and quickly disappear after battle, people began to call them ghosts. Interesting. So at first I was thinking, oh, this probably has something to do with the goddess and also chaos. I can't remember what was the name of the goddess that they usually do all the time for Dissidia, but I do remember like the opposite side was always chaos. So it makes me kind of wonder, like, would the villains ever make it into this game? Because Dissidia always had a good fair share of representation for each Final Fantasy, especially for the villains. Because that one thing that I would love to see is, Caius make it into this, Arden make it into this, maybe even what's his name from Final Fantasy 16, Bartandalus? No, it's not Bartandalus. That's 13. Dang, I can't remember, but it's the Odin Dominant from Final Fantasy 16. That'd be pretty cool to see him in it, or maybe even just like Ultima in general. Like, he's the actual main villain, but like you have a overarching villain, which was Odin in Final Fantasy 16. I think that would have been pretty interesting to see that. Oh, you know what? Oh man, if they add my boy Dion, bro, we're gonna be good. But yeah, I would like to see if they actually add the villains, and if Chaos and the goddess is ever gonna have any representation in the story at all. Okay, Final Fantasy crossed the modern world. Final Fantasy Warriors summoned into the modern world with full Japanese voice acting. Okay. I think we saw this in the trailer, which is pretty interesting to see Zidane like that. Lightning, it makes sense to see Lightning like that because, like, I remember looking at the end of, I think it's the Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. I definitely remember seeing her with modern outfits, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool that they're doing that. But it will make even more sense lore-wise for her to be here than anyone else, come to think of it. I guess you could say maybe Prompto, but Prompto is kind of like, in a way, that was supposed to be a Final Fantasy based on reality. So, I don't know. In a different reality, I guess you could say. Alright, give me the characters. Let's check out the characters. So we got the Warrior of Light, obviously, from Final Fantasy 1. That's his modern day look. And this is his original look. Okay, I kind of like that. I'm not going to worry about all these extra details. I'll probably worry about that whenever the full game comes out. Then we have Kain from Final Fantasy 4. This is modern look, which kind of makes sense for a Dragoon, I guess. And that makes sense for Kain in a way. I can see that. Is this Kryl? Yeah, Kryl from 5. Okay. Yeah, I was like, this might be Kryl because I don't recognize her in anything else but Final Fantasy 5. And I guess you could say Final Fantasy 14 as well, but Kryl from Final Fantasy 14 is different from this Kryl. They have some similarities, but it's definitely different here. But I like her fit. Yeah, I like her fit. It's pretty much about what I would expect for her to wear. This is definitely Terra from 6. Yeah. I like hers. Yeah, that one makes sense as well. She looks like the type of girl that would dress like that. About her alternate form, though? Her Esper form? I wonder how they will do that. Cloud is not what I was expecting. I was not expecting Cloud in this fit. That is definitely different for Cloud for me. I would have expected something a little different, but okay. Rinoa, yeah, I could definitely see her wearing that. That's definitely Rinoa all the way. Even like her, I would even say this fit could have worked fine in modern day. I would have said that would have worked fine, but I guess they wanted to change it up just a little bit, but I can definitely see her that. She actually looks really cute there. Zidane is definitely a surprise for me, yo. Zidane is a surprise to me. He looks like he can bug somebody for real, but he is a thief. Dang, you know what? Come to think of it, he is a thief. Duh. He's I shouldn't say that, but he do look fresh. I would say that. Lightning definitely on top. Lightning, this is what she'll wear. It's something that they teased at the end of Lightning Returns 13-3, so I can totally see that. But I do like her original fit is good too. Gaia, still a huge surprise to me. Like, Gaia is still a huge surprise to me. Now, I do know some people's probably going to be saying, like, oh, it's Nomura. It's Nomura's character. He's going to add her into any project he does. And I do agree. I definitely do agree. I think it was Nomura and... No, I think it was Gaia and Reen was the two characters that Nomura have created during Shadowbringers. And obviously, I can see Nomura liking her. But really, daggone, bro. Like... her fit in both versions would have worked perfectly fine in a modern setting. But I think she looks good. It's still interesting seeing her as the representation for 14. I would have thought maybe like one of the Scions, like maybe Yestola, Alphino, Alize, Graha, or Thancred. I don't think Urianger. But like really, it's interesting to see Gaia because... she's canon to the story, but really before Endwalker, you probably would have never seen her unless you did optional content. But really what this makes me think is too, like, oh, if Gaia makes it into this, because Nomura loves his girls, he loves his babies that he created. I'm curious if she will ever make it to Kingdom Hearts 4. That'd be pretty cool. I would love to see Gaia into Kingdom Hearts 4. Also, this is definitely not Nomura art. This is definitely not Nomura art. I think I had a... Let me find that post real quick. Okay, so I found a post earlier that it had a lot of different pictures of Nomura's artwork. And this is what Nomura's artwork looks like. This is what he has made of Gaia. So I don't think Nomura is the actual artist in terms of the artwork for this game. I think it's someone else that's doing the artwork for it. I still like it. The artwork that they have thus far looks good. It's very Genshin Impact like, but it's not Nomura art, I would say. You know, he has his style, and this is what it mainly looks like. All right, our last character on the list is Prompto, which is an interesting choice too, because like I would have thought Nomura would have wanted to add Noctis, because Noctis once used to be his baby too. It's interesting seeing Prompto instead of Noctis here, but I'm pretty sure we'll get Noctis sometime later. There's no way he's not going to make it into this. Just the same way as like, oh, we're going to have Clive. Maybe they're going to add Snow at some point from 13. Maybe they will definitely add Squall at some point. They got to. So like all the characters, like most of these aren't really the main characters. I guess you could say Kryl could be a main character, but Terra's definitely a main character. You can't have Cloud, and you have to always have Cloud in these games, no matter what. He's the Final Fantasy mascot. No matter what it is that you try to say, Cloud is the Final Fantasy mascot. But Prompto, his fit, it's interesting because obviously I could see him wearing that, but his original would have been fine too, because that's supposed to be based on reality. Oh well, it's cool. I like his new fit. To be honest, I think I like this one better than his other fit, if we're being honest in my opinion here. But I like it, what they got so far. Alright, so here are my general thoughts and feelings about Dissidia being on mobile and potentially some of its development stuff, and very much what most people are probably going to be wanting to hear other people's thoughts on. So first off, Dissidia, love it. I love to see Dissidia make a return. I want Square to know that Dissidia is actually a good IP to continue on, but I don't think putting it on mobile devices only is the best approach for it. I think really what they need to do is put this on other platforms. Sure, maybe the beta can be on Android, which is unfortunate that it's only on Android. Put the beta on Android, maybe have another beta for iOS and Android, But I definitely do think that if a full release, which is supposed to be coming in 2026, they need to fully release this on other platforms as well. It needs to be on PC. It needs to be on consoles. Sure, you can use it on your phone. But if we're wanting this to be a successful gacha from Square Enix, because they are known for canceling so many of their mobile titles after 2-3 years, some of them didn't even make it a year. They cancel them and they go ghosts, and you never ever hear about it again. Ghosts. These are supposed to be ghosts in lore. But they really need to like sit back and actually think about the best approach about this, because right now the general audience about how people feel about this outside of Japan, a lot of people are not happy this is on mobile. And I think they really need to hammer this down and make sure that they release this on multiple platforms, kind of like how Genshin Impact has worked. What is the other game that they have? Honkai Star Rails. I think they got like lots of different titles. But anyways, they need to do that approach, because that approach has been working really well for that company for the longest time. And I think if Square wants to continue this mobile or gacha system, because obviously we thought they were going to cancel it. We thought most people were going to be like, oh, they're not going to do mobile games no more. Here we are now, because it's really ridiculous. I can give you a whole entire list of mobile games that they have potentially have deleted. Matter of fact, look at this list. That's a huge list of mobile games they canceled, including Missing Link, because it's not in this list. But there are so many mobile games that were recently canceled because Square was like, no, we're gonna cut all that. So I'm genuinely hoping that they hammer down, focus on this one, because it's a little unfortunate that they decided to cancel one mobile game that's similar to this. Because one thing I will say, this is the part where I'm going to get into the Kingdom Hearts stuff that most people are a little bit mixed on. One thing I will say is that a lot of people are picking up on something. Look at this. Final Fantasy, Missing Link, Kingdom Hearts. A couple of similarities. Now, I'm not saying, oh, Kingdom Hearts Missing Link was canceled so they can make another Final Fantasy game. I'm not saying that. What I truly believe is that maybe both games were being developed at the exact same time, and they probably decided to kick back on one and just focus more on another. That's what I'm starting to see from here, because look at this. This is kind of familiar in a way. Then you look at this and it's like, that is very familiar in a way. And like I said, I'm not trying to say that they decided to cancel Missing Link and only turn it into a Final Fantasy gacha game and slap Dissidia on it. I don't think they're doing that. I don't think so. I truly think that Missing Link was being developed first for a while, and then they were probably thinking about doing another Dissidia game, so they canceled out Opera Omnium, and they were like, we got Dissidia Duellum coming in. That'll be our new mobile version of a Dissidia game that we're going to be focusing on, and that's when this was coming around. I think both games, Missing Link and Dissidia, were both being developed at the exact same time, and they probably have some of the same elements, because what I've seen here so far within this trailer, within the trailer and also on this website, it looks like it might have some GPS systems. Maybe. I don't know. I'm hoping it doesn't, because the GPS system is very old and outdated. A lot of games shouldn't be doing that, because I know Pokemon Go had its big moment with it, but I really do not want that in Final Fantasy, and I do not want that with Kingdom Hearts. Honestly, I was happy that Missing Link was canceled, because I actually truly believe that Missing Link should have been a full game. I feel like Missing Link needs to be a full side game that tells the story of all that. And the same way with Dissidia. I wish Dissidia was an actual full game, like a one player or maybe even like a 1v1 or a PvP type of game, PvE, just like the classic Dissidia games. I would love both of these to be exactly what they needed to be instead of a mobile game. But I'm going to just take things with a grain of salt, enjoy what I got right here, and see what they happen to do. Like I said, I'm a little ambivalent about this because I'm salty because Kingdom Hearts hasn't been getting a lot of love lately. Final Fantasy has been getting too much love lately. Dissidia deserves better than a mobile game. Missing Link definitely deserves better than a mobile game. And that is all I'm pretty much trying to say here. I do not think this is going to be affecting anything from Kingdom Hearts 4. We don't know what they got going on with Kingdom Hearts 4. We don't know what they got going on with Missing Link. I'm hoping that they know that people are a little bit worried and they start to realize that, hey, Kingdom Hearts needs more love. And I'm hoping Square also knows that, hey, people are wanting the Dissidia game that is not on mobile. I think there should be like a dual release for Dissidia, because next year is supposed to be very blank when it comes to Square in general right now. Maybe next year, if they're not releasing Final Fantasy IX, if they're not releasing Kingdom Hearts 4, I think next year will be a great year during the exact same time for them to release Dissidia Duellum. Maybe Duellum can mean like, oh, there's two versions of it. Maybe there's a Duellum on consoles. That'll be great. Have a new Dissidia game that is also on both consoles and PC, while also having a mobile version that they can also cross over in some type of way. I think that could potentially be the best approach to do Dissidia. Just the same way as I'm like, okay, maybe we can have Missing Link as a console game, a side game, while we wait for Kingdom Hearts 4, if we're going to have to wait even longer for it. But that is what I'm currently sitting at when it comes to both of this. Because obviously, to me, what it feels like is they were developing both of these games at the exact same time. Anyways, those are my general thoughts about Dissidia Duellum Final Fantasy. I'm actually somewhat looking forward to trying this out, because I'm curious to see how they're handling the next Dissidia game. It's unfortunate it's on mobile, but I am willing to work around with it and see what's going on. Unfortunately, I can't join the beta because I'm an iPhone user. I don't use Androids. Nothing against Androids or anything. It's just like I've always enjoyed using iPhones. So maybe someday later down the line, I can actually give a try this game when it actually releases and give my full thoughts. That's if they actually decide to release it. And also, please, Square, don't cancel this one after 2-3 years. Have it run for a while. And if you're going to do anything else with it, please release it to other platforms. I promise you more people will probably give this a try. And let it be free to play. With that being said, everybody, those are my thoughts on Dissidia Final Fantasy Duellum. And with that, stay optimistic, keep it real, and I shall see you all in the next one. Peace out now.